Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. Today I'm going to do a demonstration. This is a PlayStation 5 motherboard. It's a donor board. It's damaged for a burnout where it went through all the layers of the board, so it's not going to be repairable. And why am I bringing this board out? I want to do a demonstration. I want to show you why PS5 HDMI ports fail so frequently. Let's take a look. Now, you may be aware that the proper way to remove an HDMI port is to use a lot of heat. Let's just instead grab it with pliers and try to pull it off. Now, what am I showing you here? Let's take a closer look. Now you can see, as expected, there is some damage. We ripped a pad here. We ripped a pad here, here, and here. But there are 15 fully intact. And that doesn't make any sense if it was soldered on. And frankly, it pulled off of the board and the anchors reasonably well. I mean, this is fixable damage. And I pulled it off with pliers. Okay? I pulled it off cold with pliers. And I only ripped 4 pads. And they're totally repairable. The reason that these ports fail so frequently, I'm talking about when it looks okay, but you're like, oh, why doesn't it work? Because, you know, if it fell over and it's visibly damaged, like obviously it's visibly damaged. But then we do tons of PS5 repairs where the port looks fine. And, you know, it might feel a little bit loose, and then we get it open and there's no damaged pads. They're just like the port like lifted off. And it's because they're not soldered on good at the factory. I mean, Sony, you got to do better. Okay, this is true. They got several versions of the PS5 out. I know to the average consumer it only looks like 2 versions, but as far as board level, they have several versions, and they all fail the same. It doesn't matter which board version it comes in with. These ports just lift right off. And why? Why is Sony doing that? It wasn't nearly such a problem with the PS4. It sure as shit wasn't a problem with the PS3. Why now? With their most expensive console, well, I mean, I guess the PS3 launched with the higher price, but that's not the point. It's a $500 console, and they're not even making sure that at the factory level the HDMI port is soldered on good. Just from people plugging it in and out, it only takes one of those 19 pins to lift up and not make a good connection for the HDMI to fail. Oh, shoot. So, yeah, that's why HDMI ports are failing on the PS5 all the time. And I think for your average consumer, you didn't even do anything wrong. It just was built shitty. But the good news is that when you bring it in for repair to my shop or probably any of various professional shops, you know, they solder on the replacement way better. Like, so much better than how it came out of the factory. And the chance for future failure is far less likely after having it fixed when the factory port failed. So, I don't know. That's just my theory on why it's such a epidemic that PS5 HDMI ports fail. It's because I can rip them off with pliers and do minimal damage. Most of the pads are totally okay. They're supposed to be welded on. If I rip it off, they should all the pads should go, don't you think? If not most of them. I don't know. That's my thought. Let me know what you think down in the comments.